Hello all, good morning. How are you? Hope you are all absolutely fine. I am your Jugno teacher back with science class. Today we will be discussing the topic pH. Last day we just started discussing that topic. We will be continuing with that particular portion. So, can you all take your textbook and be ready? Last day we had just started this topic, how strong are acid or base solutions. All acids do not have the same strength. Otherwise, all bases, they do not have the same strength. Strength of an acid is determined by what criterion? Strength of an acid is determined by the ionization, that is to the extent of ionization. All acids do not ionize completely. Some acids go for only a partial ionization. So acids which ionize completely in presence of water, we call them as strong acids. Otherwise, acids which go for a partial ionization, we call them as weak acids. Similarly with bases, it's applicable. That is, bases also, the strength of bases are determined based on the extent of ionization of bases. Some bases go for complete ionization. They split completely in presence of water. We call them as strong bases. Bases which go for a partial ionization, that is bases which ionize only partially in presence of water, we call them as weak bases. So, we learned about indicators earlier. Indicators cannot be used to check whether an acid is strong or whether it's weak. An indicator is used for what purpose only? To check whether the given solution is acidic or basic in nature. But for checking the strength of acidic and basic solution, we can use an universal indicator which is known as pH. It's available in the form of paper strips. That is, the paper strip is impregnated with this universal indicator. It's actually a solution. A paper strip dipped in this solution and dried can be used as a pH paper. Otherwise, we can use it in the form of solution itself. So, universal indicator is actually a dye only, a natural dye, which actually responds by giving different colors. If you refer to the textbook, you can see this color chart provided. Can you refer to your textbook? Refer to this color chart provided. pH paper responds to the particular solution, that is, it indicates whether the solution is highly acidic, whether it's moderately acidic, whether it's weakly acidic by bringing different colors. The colors are indicated here in this color chart. The most strong acid, the acid which ionizes completely, for example hydrochloric acid, will respond by giving a red color. The most strong bases, for example sodium hydroxide, it's one of the strongest bases. It responds by giving what color? It responds by giving an indigo color. So, pH paper will turn its color to indigo in presence of sodium hydroxide. You can see the range of colors given by different solutions depending upon what? Depending upon the amount of H plus ions which that solution can produce in presence of water. At extreme left end, can you refer to your textbook? You can see a red color. Red color is usually given by the strongest acids, acids which ionizes completely. If you take a solution of strong acid, all the molecules in it will completely ionize. If it's a weak acid, you can go get the different shades. It will not be getting the shade of red. Instead, we'll be getting either shade of orange, otherwise yellow. If it's a neutral solution, last day we discussed it, neutral solution have got a pH value of 7. The color that you get on pH paper strip will be green. If we take a mild base, a weak base, a base which do not completely ionize, you will be getting a shade of blue. Moving to the right end, you can see indigo color. It's a color that we get when we dip a solution, that is dip pH paper in a solution which has complete ionization, that is a strong base, otherwise a strong alkali. So, we can identify whether a solution that is a strong acid, otherwise whether it's a weak acid, otherwise whether the given solution is a strong base, otherwise whether it's a weak base by using pH paper. As I told you earlier, this is an experiment included in a laboratory manual. You'll be given different solutions and asked to find the pH value of it. So the procedure is, you have to take pH paper strips. We have pH paper strips here in our lab. you have to take a small portion of it, you have to cut a small portion of it, place it on a white tile, a tile which is white in color. This is for clearly noting the color change that pH paper brings in presence of the solution. So what should you do first? Place a white tile. That's for seeing clearly what is the color change that pH paper is bringing. Then place a small strip of pH paper. Then with the help of a dropper, add 1 or 2 drops of the given solution that you are planning to find the strength. And now the pH paper would have turned its color to any of these colors that you see on this color chart provided. So looking at the color, you have to guess. Suppose it's a shade which corresponds to the value 7. You come to what conclusion? It's a neutral solution which has got the pH value of 7. Another solution which have got the pH value of 8. You can see the color shade is different, though it's a color green only, but you could see the shade is somewhat more darker. Can you compare the colors given for the pH value 13 and 14? You can see the intensity is different. So looking and comparing with this chart provided along with the pH paper, you can actually come to a conclusion whether it's a strong acid, whether it's a weak acid, or whether it's a strong base, or whether it's a weak base. I'm going to read the paragraph just below this color chart. Can you refer to a textbook? The strength of acids and bases actually depends upon what? If the strength of acid, it depends upon what? The number of H plus ions produced by the acid when it comes into contact with water. Similarly, strength of base depends upon what? The amount of OH minus ions produced when the bases are dissolved in water. So acids which produce more of H plus ions have more strength compared to the other acids. Suppose you are having 2 acids, acids A and acid B. Acid A produce more of H plus ion compared to acid B means what? A is having more strength compared to the acid B. Similarly, bases also, bases which produce more of hydroxide ions are considered to be strong bases. One example is given here. If we take hydrochloric acid and acetic acid of the same concentration, hydrochloric acid is HCl. Is considered to be a strong acid. Why? In presence of water, it ionizes completely into H plus and Cl minus ion. Now, what's the other example? Acetic acid. Acetic acid is CH3COOH. Is considered to be a weak acid. Why? The ionization process is partial. It goes for only partial ionization. So if you take the same quantity of both of this acid of same concentration, which will produce more of H plus ion? If you are taking the same quantity, for example, if you take 5 ml of 1 molar solution of hydrochloric acid and acetic acid, which will produce more of H plus ion? Definitely HCl. Why? HCl ionizes completely. But what about acetic acid? Acetic acid go for only partial ionization. So which will have more H plus ions when dissolved in water? It's definitely HCl. Right? So I'll just read it. Acids that give rise to more H plus ions are said to be strong acids. So what's the criteria for determining whether the acid is strong? An acid should produce more H plus ion. And how an acid is able to produce more H plus ion? Only if it ionizes completely. And acids that give less H plus ion, here acetic acid produce only less H plus ion, are said to be what type of acids? They are said to be weak acids. So here we have learned an important point. A strong acid is an acid which ionizes completely and produces more of H plus ion. What about a weak acid? For a weak acid, the amount of H plus ion produced is less. What's the reason? Weak acids go for only partial ionization. Similarly, go for the last sentence now. You now say what a weak and strong base is. So what is a strong base? A base which produces more of OH minus ions, hydroxide ions, when dissolved in water. And why they are able to produce more of OH minus ion? They go for a complete ionization. What about the next term? Weak bases. If you take ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. Why? Ammonium hydroxide go for only partial ionization. So the amount of OH minus ions produced will be less compared to the amount of OH minus ion produced by strong bases like sodium hydroxide. Now, I think the color chart is clear to you. Color chart actually shows the different colors a solution actually brings in presence of universal indicator. This is an experiment that we have to do. We'll discuss it later. Table 2.2. Now, refer to figure 2.6 on page 25. This is a table which actually shows the H plus ions and OH minus ions present in liquids with different pH value. Last day we discussed the range of pH. What's the range of pH? pH ranges 0 to 14. And as we discussed last day, value 0 up to 7, not 7, up to 7 indicates an acidic solution. The values above 7 indicates a basic solution, and the value 7 indicates a neutral solution. We determine whether a solution is acidic, neutral or basic depending upon the relative concentration of what ions in it, H plus ions and OH minus ions in it. So if H plus ions and OH minus ion are in same concentration, almost equal in number, we say it's a neutral solution having pH value of 7. Go for acidic solutions, the solutions with pH value 0 up to 7. In this diagram, it's very clear why we call them as acidic. Such solutions have more of H plus ions compared to OH minus ion. H plus ions here are indicated by blue shaded region. OH minus ions are here indicated by the area which is not shaded. So can you tell me the strongest acid will have what pH value? It will have pH value of 0. It's very clear from the diagram why we say the acid with pH value 0 is the strongest acid. Compared to rest of the acids, it is the acid having the highest concentration of H plus ion. So as we move from left to right, that is still the middle, actually the H plus ion produced by the acids are gradually decreasing. That's why the acidic strength is decreasing. So the strongest acid is the one with the least pH value, that is pH value 0. Now moving to the right hand side, from the middle portion till the right hand side is an area where we indicate the bases. So bases have pH value above 7 up to 14. Can you look at the extreme right end of this table? The solution which is having a pH value of 14 is the strongest base. Why? Because it has more OH minus ions compared to the rest of the bases with pH value above 7. For example, pH value 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14, which is the strongest base, is definitely the base with pH value 14. Why? In the diagram it's very clear, that's the base with the more number of OH minus ion compared to other bases. So pH is actually a value which is determined by the amount of H plus ions produced by a solution when it is dissolved in water. As is very clear from the diagram, the solution which produces the highest number of H plus ions have the least pH value, and the solution which has the least amount of H plus ion, for example, the area which is marked as 14. A solution with pH value 14 has the least H plus ion concentration. But see, it is having the highest pH value. So one more time, pH is actually a numerical value which indicates what? The amount of H plus ion produced by a given solution when it is dissolved in water. Acids usually produce more of H plus ion, and among acids, the acid which produces the highest concentration of H plus ion has pH value 0. So the value increases from 0 to 7, means what? The H plus ion is keeping on decreasing. Similarly, on the side of bases, you could see the solution that is there on the extreme right hand side, that is the one with pH value 14 has the least number of H plus ion. Now why it's considered to be the strongest base? Look at the area which is not marked in blue, the area which is not shaded, that's the area which represents which ion? OH minus ion. See, the solution with pH value 14 has the highest concentration of OH minus ion. I think you got an idea regarding strength of acids and bases. So to generalize, strength of an acid is determined by what? The amount of H plus ions produced when the acid is dissolved in water. And how is the strength of a base determined? It is determined by the concentration of OH minus ions produced when the base is dissolved in water. The strongest acids produce more number of H plus ion compared to other acid, and the strongest base produce more number of OH minus ion compared to other bases. Now last day we were discussing the equation for pH. I asked you to note down this particular equation. equation for pH. So this is the equation. pH is minus log to the base 10 of H plus ion concentration. So pH is a value which is dependent upon the amount of H plus ions produced when a particular solution is dissolved in water. From this equation it's very clear. You are having a negative sign here. Log, I told you earlier, it's a mathematical operator. So pH value is dependent upon the number of H plus. As very clear from this equation, pH value depends upon what? The amount of H plus ion produced by that particular solution. As the H plus ion concentration increases, because there is a negative sign here, it's very clear that pH value will be decreasing. So solutions which produce more number of H plus ion has the least pH value, and solution which has less number of H plus ion will have the highest pH value. You know, the solution with pH value 14 has highest pH value. Why? It has the least number of H plus ions. Now what is P? P is actually, it stands for here, potence. The term P stands for potence. The word meaning of potence is power. So pH is a value which indicates the power of hydrogen ions, otherwise the concentration of hydrogen ions produced by a solution. So pH ranges from 0 to 14, 0 to 7, that is up to 7. It indicates solutions which are acidic in nature. pH value progressively increases mean the strength of acid decreases. So pH value increase from 0 to 1 means what? If you compare two solutions having pH value 0 and pH value 1, which is more acidic, which is having more of strength? Definitely the acidic solution with pH value 0 compared to the solution with pH value 1. Why? The solution with pH value 0 produces more number of H plus compared to, can you refer to the table? It will be very clear from the table. The solution with pH value 0 has more H plus ions compared to the solution with pH value 1. Going to the side of bases is the other way. The solutions which have more number of OH minus ions have more of strength. If you compare solutions with pH value 13 and 14, which will be having more of strength as a base, definitely the solution with pH value 14. Why? What's the reason? The solution with pH value 14 has more number of OH minus ions compared to the solution having pH value 13. I think it's very clear. Shall I read the portion? Here, from the heading, how strong are acid or base solutions? So here in this topic, we are going to learn how strength of acids and bases are determined. And as we have discussed, it's not possible finding out the strength of acids and bases using normal indicators. For finding the strength, we use what? Universal indicators. Universal indicator is available in the form of solution, as well as it's available in the form of paper strips. We call them as pH paper strips. It's actually like a bundle of paper strips, and the color chart will be provided along with this pH paper strips. So shall I read? We know how acid-base indicators can be used to distinguish between an acid and a base. So what is the only purpose of the normal indicators? It helps us to distinguish between an acid and a base. We also have learned in the previous section about dilution. What is dilution? The process in which the amount of H plus ion or amount of OH minus ions decrease. Now what is concentrating? It's a process in which H plus ions and OH minus ion increase. Can we quantitatively find the amount of these ions present in a solution? That is it possible finding the amount of H plus ions, otherwise the amount of OH minus ion? It's possible, right? With the help of what? pH paper, otherwise with the help of universal indicator. Can we judge how strong a given acid or a base is? Yes, definitely we can judge how with the help of pH paper. We can do this by making use of a universal indicator, which is actually a mixture of several indicators. Usually natural dyes are used. So many natural dyes mixed together. Universal indicator shows different colors. What all range of colors? Colors ranging from red, orange, yellow, green, shade of blue, then indigo. A scale for measuring hydrogen ion concentration in a solution called pH scale has been developed. The P in pH stands for potence. It's a term Meaning is what? Power. So pH means what? It shows the power of hydrogen, the amount of H plus ion produced by a particular solution. On pH scale, we can measure pH generally from 0. See, 0 stands for very acidic, means the strongest acid, to 14. Very alkaline means the strongest base only will have pH value 14. pH should be thought of simply as a number which indicates the acidic or basic nature of a solution. Higher the hydronium ion concentration, higher hydronium ion means what? H plus ion concentration. So from the equation that you have written, higher the hydronium ion concentration means what? Because there is a negative sign, lower is the pH value. pH of a neutral solution is 7. Values less than 7 on pH scale represent an acidic solution. I think it's all clear to you. As the pH value increases from 7 to 14, it represents an increase in which ion? OH minus ion concentration in the solution, as very clear from this diagram. That is, there will be increase in the strength of alkali. So what is mentioned here? Moving from left hand side to right hand side, there is a steady decrease in the concentration of H plus ion, but there is a steady increase in the concentration of hydroxide ions. Generally, paper impregnated with universal indicator, we call it as pH paper. How is pH paper made? By dipping a paper in the universal indicator, drying and using it as pH paper. It's very easy finding out the strength of acids and bases. This is an experiment that you need to do. We'll discuss it later. I read this paragraph earlier. Now, what's the importance of pH in everyday life? I think you got it. What is pH? pH is actually a value, a numerical value, which ranges from 0 to 14, which indicates the strength of acids and bases. Strength of acids and bases are determined by what criterion? The amount of H plus ion, otherwise the amount of OH minus ion produced on mixing with water, otherwise on dilution. Now, importance of pH, we'll go for the first one. All our organisms, including plants and animals, our body is pH sensitive. So, human body is pH sensitive. Go for the first line. Our body, that is human body, works within the pH range of 7 to 7.8. That is almost neutral to slightly alkaline. All our body activities will take place only in this range of pH. Living organisms can survive only in a narrow range of pH change. Suppose it becomes acidic, otherwise suppose it becomes basic, we will not be able to survive. When pH of rainwater is less than 5.6, you all have heard of acid rain, no? What's the reason for acid rain? You know, atmospheric pollution, presence of oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. So when it rains, what actually happens? These oxides dissolve in rainwater and make it acidic. So when do we call rain as acidic? If the pH value goes below, that is less than 5.6, it becomes acidic. So what are the impacts if it's acidic rain, you know? Naturally, the rainwater flows to nearby water resources. So the water resources become acidic. The aquatic organisms will find it very difficult to survive. So it's clearly mentioned here. When acid rain flows into the rivers, it lowers the pH of river water. That is, river water will become acidic. The survival of aquatic life in such rivers become difficult. So this is the first application of pH. Then, all these are daily life examples. There is no need for much of explanation. So, I am just going to read it out. Go for the next one. What's the pH of soil in your background? So, how will you test the pH of a soil is actually described in this activity. You have to take soil in a test tube, mix it with water, filter and take the solution, and you can use an universal indicator. The solution color will turn to the colors that were described there in the color chart. So, looking at the color, you have to arrive at the conclusion regarding the pH. Suppose you get green color, definitely the soil is having what nature? Neutral nature. If you see a shade of red, orange or yellow, the soil in your backyard is acidic. Otherwise, if you see shade of blue, otherwise indigo, the soil is having a basic nature. But plants actually prefer growing in neutral soil. Actually, there is only a small range of pH in which plants can survive. Can you note down the values? 6.0 to 7.0. Only in this narrow range of pH, the crops will be growing well. Otherwise, the crops will be able to survive and produce a good yield. So, what should we do? Suppose we find it more acidic, otherwise more basic. We have to make it neutral by carrying out a neutralization reaction. Suppose you test the pH of soil and you find that it is acidic in nature, what should you do? You add bases like lime, so that this go and neutralize the excess acidity and make the soil back to neutral. Otherwise, if you find that the soil is having pH value above 7, what is your conclusion? The soil is basic. Again, you have to make it back to neutral. How? We don't have acids. You should not add acids. Instead, you add manures. You know what is a manure, right? It's dead remains of plants and animals which uses manures. So when you add manures to soil, actually due to the action of microorganisms, some acidic nature will be provided to soil. This helps in bringing the soil back to neutral nature. So what is the generalization? Crops prefer growing in what type of soil? Soil which is preferably neutral, but it can actually grow in this range of pH range of 6 to 7, that is neutral to slightly acidic nature. But if you find that the range is either below this range or above this range, it has to be brought back to neutral range. So we'll conclude with this and then go for interactive session. I'll just read it. What's the pH of soil in your background? Plants require a specific pH range. I told you what is the pH range. It's a range of 6.0 to 7.0. To find out the pH required for the healthy growth of a plant, you can collect the soil from various places and check the pH in the manner described below. So what's the way in which you need to do? We'll read it. Also, you can note down which plants are growing in the region from which you have collected the soil. Now, activity to find the pH of soil is like this. Put about 2 grams. You have to take a small quantity of soil in a test tube, add 5 ml of water to it, shake the contents of the test tube. Now you have to filter the content for removing the soil, and you have to take only the filtrate in a test tube. You know what is a filtrate, right? What passes through the filter paper we call as filtrate. Now check the pH of this filtrate with the help of universal indicator paper. So as I mentioned earlier, take a white tile, place a small strip of universal indicator paper, otherwise known as pH paper, on that. With the help of a dropper, add 2 or 3 drops of the filtrate to the pH paper. Note the color change. Suppose you see that the color change that pH paper shows is green. What will be your conclusion? The soil in your backyard is having a neutral nature. Otherwise, if you see a shade of yellow, it's slightly acidic in nature. If you see a shade of blue, the soil is basic in nature. Now, go for the third one. I think the portions are clear to you. I'm just reading because there is nothing much to explain. pH in our digestive system. In the interactive part, we have learned what is acidity. Why do you face acidity? That's because there is hydrochloric acid produced in your stomach. So I just read it. It's very interesting to note that our stomach produces hydrochloric acid. In gastric juice, there is hydrochloric acid. It helps in the digestion of food without harming the stomach. Actually, it affects your stomach only if the digestion process is not taking place properly. We call it as indigestion. So go for the next line. During indigestion, the stomach produces too much of acid, and this causes pain and irritation. So to get rid of this pain, people use bases called antacids. So what are antacids? Actually, they are mild bases which can be used to neutralize the excess acid in your stomach. One such remedy must have been suggested by you at the beginning of this chapter. What was the remedy? Taking a dilute solution of what? Sodium bicarbonate. Why? Sodium bicarbonate is a mild base. These antacids neutralize the excess acid. One example is given, milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia is magnesium hydroxide. You know, magnesium hydroxide is a mild base. So, if you take milk of magnesia, a mild base, it will be giving us it will act as a remedy. We'll get a relief. We have discussed one more example, the most common antacid that you all take for indigestion, Gelusil. What's the composition of Gelusil? Gelusil is a combination of this base, magnesium hydroxide and aluminium hydroxide. So we'll stop with this and go for interactive session. Can you all turn your video on?